address the question you
So
asked.
I'm just going to just repeat the question, and then I'll just repeat it. The question was, when a prophet, because I got for corporate or individuals, understand when a word comes. So what was the first part of it? Everybody get a question? When a word comes and you get something, how do you know whether it's corporate or individual? Thank you, Dr. Jones.
You're going to know if God's speaking to you individually. And a lot of times God is speaking to us individually. And we take it to be corporate. But in a corporate setting, the word should be validated, first of all. The spirit of the prophet should come subject to the spirit of the prophet that's already set there in a corporate setting. You know what I'm saying? So the word has to come subject to that person. And so it should all be lining up. And a lot of times what I find out is that most words are personal. And until we dealt with it personal, it's hard to address something corporately. But many times we can see for other people, the church, the leaders and everyone, but we're not seeing for ourselves. But I do believe that God's going to show us first. Now, I don't know where the order got reversed, but he still shows people themselves. And if your attitude ain't right, you got to check yourself too and see what's your motive even wanting to release a corporate word. Because if you speak in judgment or whatever you're speaking, you should be able to really be praying about the situation. And if you're not confident or mature enough, don't say nothing. What you do is write it down, give it to that person that's over that house, and let them be responsible. Because if it's corporate, then you release it to the corporate head of the house. Now it's their responsibility to distribute. And so when I tell people if they're not sure, then you're not the one to give the word. You write it down. You give it to that person who is the head of the corporation and let them be responsible for distribution. And I'm going to say it's safe to let them be responsible. Yes, just let them be responsible. Once you release the news from the Lord, then you let the CEO distribute. Amen?
I like that. That was good. That was good. Yeah. Because a lot of times I do find that, sometimes people will come and give a word and it's really for them individually. And that gets back to what you're talking about, about discernment. Whether you're having a dream or whether God is giving you a word. If I have a dream when I wake up, I know whether that dream is for me personally or someone else or, for a corporate. So God will let you know who that's for, whether it's for you or not. Because a lot of times He allows us to edify, even ourselves.
And many times God shows us corporate things is sometimes for us to intercede on. Because we don't really to the Lord in prayer. We could get so much done in a secret place than we could get speaking. Wow. And if you just take that, to the Lord in prayer. Because I've had too many people trying to give a corporate word that was not really their responsibility to release a word. Because you're not responsible for what you're saying. The person that's ahead of it is going to be the ultimate responsibility. And God might show you something, but how about taking it? There's so many things I got to take to the Lord in prayer.
Yeah.
And just leave it there. That's why when Elder had said about being quiet, that's the time you really get still when you're seeing. That's the time you really want to go into intercession because God will always show us what to pray for. But a lot of times, I know some of us are emerging prophets and all of that. A lot of times we want to just release something because prophets really have to stay very humble. One of the key, this foundational tool, is humility. If God gives you something for a corporate body, you better humble yourself. Before Elijah was able to deal with a nation, he had to lower himself and go to a place. And so much corporate words that's going to have an impact that's going to be birthed out of humility.